Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your Tuesday to join me. I really appreciate that. I truly do. Here at Vlogs About Nothing, we aspire and strive to the absolute lowest standard here on a daily basis. So, um, you know, it's just a constant roast. Think of the channel as just this dude talking about nothing, always roasting himself. How much more entertaining could I possibly be for you? In that this is me. I'm this entertaining to myself. I am the joke of my own punchlines throughout my entire day. So there you have it. Which is why I feel like I'm the guy to host a show about nothing. So, anyways, I do hope that you guys are doing good. You know what I mean? It's been a few months, I know. And I know, it's been a few months, ladies and gentlemen, already, and we know so much about each other already. In that you guys, hopefully at this point, know a little bit about, me and my background and some of the things that I'm going to do in life and all of these things. And if not, welcome. You feel me? This dude's been working on this catalog of videos for 3 months, and obviously taking sidebars out of videos that are about different topics in the middle of videos is kind of also something that we've established as sort of trademark behavior on Blogs About Nothing. So, at any rate, let's get back to the topic, which has not even been presented yet. So, tonight I want to talk about seed globalization. Okay, so we'll take a deep breath here for a second, right? Because we all know the world's on fire. It's just, hey, what part of it is on fire this time, Mr. Vlogs About Nothing? I get it. And to be more specific, the part of the earth that's on fire right now is the fact that um, seed globalization has, in fact, taken into effect. And it's a sneaky one. Globalizing seeds sounds actually good. I mean, I don't understand why any of the bad things that are happening to us in real time in our world are bad. In that, follow me. Okay, so we all eat fake ultra processed food. We're poisoned, and then we're made to buy healthcare that if or we cannot afford. Hopefully, all of these things. But the thing is it's cheap food. It's readily available, and yet throughout all of the modern breakthroughs, people still starve. Like, people still are going hungry. Food is still wasted. Like, to the point of which is just would make any rational, sane, normal human being just, you know, um, absolutely horrified at how a large part of the global population is treated in a world where the rest of us are arguing about the quality of our fake food. There are some people who don't even have the food, and I talk about it like that because seed globalization impacts all of us. Seed globalization is when a handful of multinational conglomerates own the actual seeds to the food that is produced and then sold to us, all while also owning the same companies that are going to treat us from the very illnesses that we receive as being a part of their grand old experiment to see who can join the good old trillionaire boys club first. So the thing is something similar to how the same people who own all of the veterinarian clinics, in this country also own the dog food that's produced to arguably make our pets sick to begin with. It's literally a perpetual cycle of getting taken. Like, just seriously, eyes wide shut. You feel me? In plain sight. Sort of. Let's just take over the world while you consent. I think that is real weird. I think that's a real strange thing to, say, I think, because, again, honestly, a handful of companies owning seeds is not a good thing. And let me tell you why it's not a good thing. Okay, so let's say that I'm Monsanto, for example, one of the literal handful, 5 companies in the whole world who own all of the seeds, right? All of the hybrid seeds that are now being produced in a manner of which are only single season blooms or single season crop potentialities for the farmer to harvest. Whereas, just even a half a century ago, farmers were able to have a way to get their seeds and then value those seeds because that was in fact food for the next season and so forth. But now farmers aren't even being sold or do not have the opportunity as being part of a streamlined system in the agricultural modern world to perform these kinds of actions. And so what we're left with is, again, a company like Monsanto owning the seeds that are sold to farmers that grow the food that were then sold. The problem with owning these seeds, because it sounds like a good idea, right? Somebody's got to own the seeds, somebody's got to sell them. I understand that. I mean, we're all not, lacking in so much business acumen that we can't understand the basic principles of a market system. However, I would say my argument is like, well, why is it that companies like Monsanto charge sometimes hundreds of thousands of United States dollars or its equivalency in euros or any other kind of ruples or ruples? I'm not sure. I'm not going to get too carried away with that. I'm just going to laugh at myself because I don't know any other currencies. You feel me? And I know that's a very American thing for somebody to say because, yeah. But anyways, like Monsanto will sell these seeds to farmers for hundreds of thousands of dollars in whatever unit of measurement that you're at and what your own currency or whatever. But the people that they're buying the seeds from and the farmers that are harvesting the seeds to begin with, like, are oftentimes children, okay? And so that's an exploitation of young Homo sapiens, young human beings, on a scale of which cannot even be understood. I mean, there are many documentaries out there that discuss the topics of which we're talking about. All of the impacts that seed globalization has and, its ramifications. But the bottom line is that it's bad because children end up working for $2 a day in some cases for companies that then sell this same product that they're allowing another farmer to pay their worker $2 because of the low pay that they're giving them in exchange for such a high return on a margin that, most people wouldn't even think is like appropriate, in that it's too much. It's too much. And forget the too much part. Moreover than that, children are the ones working to provide us with all of these luxuries that are provided in our supermarkets on the daily, and I'm not a fan of child labor or enslavement of any kind towards any human being on this planet or anywhere ever. It's just not the best way to get things done. And because there's no argument that would justify the treatment of other human beings in the way that sometimes I feel like as a society we think it's okay when it's absolutely not. Seed globalization, beyond its scientific, implications as it would be to genetically modifying crops that have been indigenous to the terrain on this planet forever. Again, that's a different conversation, obviously one of which that leads us in the same kind of areas: exploitation, manipulation, corruption, cronyism, totalitarianism. All of these things, are right along lines of a handful of companies controlling all of the seeds that are distributed throughout all of the farmers in the world to grow us all of the food that we're eating, all the while owning the same companies that treat us when we get sick from eating all of their food, you know? So again, I understand it's a cycle. It's a cycle that has to be addressed, but unfortunately, I feel like we don't want to talk about it because it's, we're trying to live our 9 to 5 lives. I understand that. And the last thing that we want, I get that, is to go to the store and worry about how our heirloom tomatoes probably came from, if they're not here in America, arguably maybe a place that where a child has picked it, or a severely underpaid human being. Either way, these are both terrible and inexcusable standards of which to conduct business. Again, there's capitalism and then there's straight being a criminal. You feel me? And criminal behavior is not, in fact, lawful capitalist behavior. I would like to debate that. I think that's a good thing to say. But at any rate, I really appreciate you guys joining, and I hope that you have a really good night. Okay, bye.